Hey, this is Duane Betts.
That's right. This is your host, Vinyl Man Jeb of Unlikely Places Pop and Rock Radio. Here to tell you about the Ridgefield Playhouse's show on June 29th, 2022. It's Duane Betts. Show starts at 8. Ticket price is $39.50. Can't go wrong with that. Duane Betts was practically born with a guitar in his hands, as opposed to the backseat of a Greyhound bus rolling down Highway 41. The son of the great Allman Brothers band member Dickey Betts, Duane cut his teeth touring with his father's band, Dickey Betts and the Great Southern, made multiple stops at the Ridgefield Playhouse along the way, and now he's coming back. You don't want to miss this out. Johnny Stachella and Barry Dwayne Oakley will be joining him right on stage. The Ridgefield Playhouse. All details are at the ridgefieldplayhouse.org. Ow!
Making people feel good, and you get to go and play music, and then they have acknowledgement for songs you've written or the way you play, and have people tell you that, oh man, and then to be able to make a living at it potentially is amazing. Yeah,
but it'd be great.
I mean, I've played there so many times with my dad, and I really kind of wanted to make a point of saying how much I'm looking forward to coming back there, and how they always have treated us so kindly over the years, and it means a lot to me to come back there doing my own thing, and to have the support of everybody, and we're really looking forward to seeing everyone, and look forward to having a great night of music. So now I'm actually working on a new record. We just recorded down at Derek Trucks and Susan Tedeschi's place down in Jacksonville, Florida.
Hey everybody, this is your host, Vinyl Man Jeb, and because of the Ridgefield Playhouse, today's episode is Duane Betts. Yes, the Duane Betts, son of Dickey Betts, but he has a story of his own to tell, and you just got to listen closely and learn something new. Also wanted to say before we start, we do talk about the Allman Brothers Band too, so you want to listen to this. But before we start, we do have some merch up on robojackrecords.com for Unlikely Places now. Just announced we have hoodies, shirts, mugs, all the good stuff. All right, tune in. Again, listen closely and learn something new. Thank you, Duane, for coming on the show.
Hi, this is Terry Draper from Class 2.
Hey, this is Paul Chastain.
I'm Benton O'Hare. I used to be in Kitty's fan club.
Vic from Star Collector.
Bone Rat.
Jim Terrell.
Josh Bradley.
Paul Collins of the Nerves, the Breakaways, and the Beat.
I'm Frankie Siragusa, and you're tuning in to Unlikely Places Pop and Rock Radio Show with Vinyl Man Jeb.
Let's just have a chat down here.
You're listening to Mad Wasp Radio.
Hey everybody, this is your host, Vinyl Man Jeb of Unlikely Places Pop and Rock Radio on Mad Wasp Radio. Here for the Ridgefield Playhouse today, doing an interview with Duane Betts. Duane, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Glad to be here.
Oh, I'm glad to have you. Glad that we figured it out and we got you on the show. So very excited. We're just going to get right into it. Start going some good questions here. I saw you guys at the Bridgeport Amp. You guys are one of the newer bands there at the brand new amp, so it's pretty cool to see that. I saw you guys with Blackberry Smoke and the Wild Feathers there on that tour.
That was a fun show.
Yeah,
that was a good one last summer.
That was a lot of fun. But we're going to start off with the grand old question I ask everybody. What got you into music, Duane?
What got me into music? Well, there was a lot of music around the house at a young age, and a lot of musical instruments, and my dad was a musician.
Oh yeah.
And so it was kind of hard to escape it, as far as it being around in your daily life. But I took to the drums at a really young age. I really was not into playing guitar. I was handed a guitar I must have been 5 or 6 years old. And I just remember it seemed too difficult to, my dad was trying to show me the chords, and then these fingers stretch out and this finger goes here. And I just was like, this is too hard for me. I want to bang on some drums. So I asked my dad for a drum set, and then I became a drummer. And so, I've played music from a very young age, learning the drums, cool. And then switching over to guitar and learning the guitar. When I was about 12, 13, I think I switched over to guitar. So,
I mean, you're an incredible guitarist, too. To hear that it wasn't your starting instrument is pretty cool to hear. I'm a musician myself, so I see that as always like a change. I always just started on guitar, but I remember quitting in the beginning, and I was like, this is too hard.
Yeah, a lot of guitarists start out on drums.
That's a good point. You got Dave Grohl.
Yeah, they can play a little drums. It helps to be able do both.
Truly, yeah. We'll go right into the next question here for you. What was it like performing with the Allman Brothers Band at Woodstock 94?
Yeah, I mean, that was, honestly, I would get really nervous when I first started sitting in with the band. I would get nervous a lot, especially, in the very beginning, like the first 10 or 20 times. And then I finally kind of got used to it. And I would still get nervous, but I wasn't petrified. But that show, I remember not being nervous at all because it was so surreal, the amount of people there and the whole experience of it. I just was like, wow, it's weird that I'm just not really nervous at all, and I'm about to go walk on stage. It was just so surreal. Like my amp, it was all backline, and the amp that I was playing through wasn't working properly.
Oh, jeez.
It was all the way up, but it was about a third of the power of what it should have been. And
wow.
so if you look at the footage of me playing, I'm kind of looking back at the amp and trying to figure out, well, it's not working right. And then my dad goes and adjusts it, and I'm like, no, look, it's all the way up. And finally I just was like, well, the hell with it. I gotta try to play something here and not spin the whole solo, like looking back at the amp.
To make the volumes work. I have a tube amp that's always like, once in a while you're wondering what wires crossing what, but
yeah,
it's
it
perfect.
was working. You could
Yeah.
it was definitely, there was a signal coming out. It just wasn't the full power of what I was used to playing through my dad's or Warren's amps, with the spare amps that they had. So it was funny, but
yeah, it always adds to it when you're like not nervous. You're like, I'm ready to go, and then something happens. It's like, oh, come on, I was finally ready.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. I mean, it was really, really mind blowing. To just be part of that, and I was just like, whoa, But it was so mind blowing that it was like beyond anything I'd done, and I just thought it was interesting that I wasn't nervous about it just because it was so crazy. But
well, it's always fun too, and it's such a thing. Do you have a favorite tune of the Allman Brothers that you tend to like to play a lot, or?
Well, I have a lot of favorite tunes of a lot of people.
Yeah.
That I like to play. But if I had to pick one, I mean, there's a lot of great ones. I think In Memory of Elizabeth Reed is
yes.
one that I like to, if I'm gonna stretch out and really get into playing one of them. I mean, I really like playing that one a lot.
I know you guys play the Grateful Dead in the Allman. We're excited to see you at Ridgefield. That's going to be such a cool experience. Two of my friends and I are going to come. What could we expect at the show at Ridgefield? You got Barry Duane Oakley and Johnny Sachello. What could we expect with the three of you guys?
Well, it's gonna be really special because it's gonna be very intimate, and there's gonna be a lot of surprises and stuff that we normally wouldn't play. So I don't know exactly what we're going to play that night, but we're going to really make a point of changing up the set every night and throwing in some tunes that we've never played. So it'll be stuff that I've done on my solo records, and then with the Allman Betts Band, and then of course we'll have a really interesting array of covers. We'll play some cool covers, and it'll be a really nice night of music. So
great, I'll
really
be singing along.
To seeing everybody.
Yeah, I really enjoyed your solo EP, Sketches of American Music, as well. I really enjoyed it. I was listening to it yesterday with the sun going and everything. Even more, but loved it so much. But still do, of course. I wanted to go into that. What was the inspirations behind getting a solo EP out there in Sketches of American Music?
Well, I'd never done it, and I'd never put anything out. I just kind of recently, at that time, had recently started singing a lot more, and I'd never put anything out under my name where I'm fronting the band and singing all the songs. So I felt like it was a good time to do it. I mean, now we're looking back. I mean, this was 6 years ago now. So now I'm actually working on a new record, and I'm almost done with it. But we just recorded down at Derek Trucks and Susan Tedeschi's place down in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, wow.
And I'm really, really proud of what we've done, and we still have to mix it and add a few little things on it, but it's basically there, and I can't wait to put that out. So that's really my focus now.
There you go. And once it's ready, let me know, and I'll air it on the show. We'll put it up on Unlikely Places when it's ready for airplay and everything. We'd love to do that for you.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That's really the focus right now, and doing this acoustic tour is going to be really special. We're gonna play some stuff that we've never played before, or even together in a room, and it's just going to be really cool. Really intimate, and special
Yeah,
night.
we're really excited. You're actually my first interview for Ridgefield Playhouse officially. I did Joey Mullen through them, but it was through a PR agency that I was with. And so it's very exciting to have you. So thank you so much for coming on. It was like, yeah, finally I get a Ridgefield Playhouse interview, which was pretty cool. So I'm going to be helping them out and everything. So very excited for that. So we're going to go way back in your history. I've been doing some research. I wanted to talk about Backbone 69. How did that come about, that band there?
Well, that band, that was a really great time. In our lives. That was a really special time. And so that was a band out of Malibu, California. It was Alex Orbison, Roy's son, who's a dear friend of mine, on drums, and Chris Williams was the singer. He passed away tragically in a car accident, but his father was Jerry Lynn Williams, the great songwriter who wrote a bunch of Clapton songs, Pretending, Running on Faith, Forever Man. He was a really accomplished songwriter. But anyway, that was just a band that they had put it aside for a while. Then I came into town and met up with Chris and Orby, and we put it back together and made a record. And yeah, I mean, it was just really good roots, kind of soulful rock and roll. And this was when I was like 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. So,
well, my age, I'm 22, so very exciting.
A long time ago.
Yeah, I know. I'm half the age of you. I've been like, I'm so inspired by stuff like that. And, it's so cool that you made a career of yourself, and it's just such awesome to hear music like that. I love that Southern rock jam type stuff. And I really enjoyed hearing that because it kind of reminded me of the Johnson Brothers with that swamp rock, but a little less, a little more the usual Southern rock there. But it's amazing. And I thought you sang on some of the songs, but I'm guessing not.
I'm guessing not on the Backbone record. Okay. I didn't sing any. But we covered on Down to the River, the Allman Betts Band, we covered Autumn Breeze, which was one of Chris's.
Oh, okay.
One of my favorite songs that Chris wrote. I wrote some of the songs on that record, but I didn't sing any of them.
Perfect.
But one of my favorite songs that Chris wrote was Autumn Breeze, and so we covered that on the first Allman Betts Band record.
Crazy, have I gone insane? I just don't know. My grandfather raised me whiskey, rock and roll, and a fishing pole. This whole world keeps turning. Watch my friends grow old as tomorrow unfolds. There's a hole in the sky, and I spread my wings and fly. It's time to move on. Yes, it's time to move on. 'Cause I'm so close, so far.
when I saw you guys was with Blackberry Smoke. So I wanted to go into, how did the Allman Betts Band form? And I enjoyed the show completely. I was like blown away. I bought your guys' tour sheet t-shirt instead of Blackberry. Only could buy one. I was like, I'm buying this one. So it was perfect. I'll be wearing it to the
really
show.
nice.
Yeah. I love
That's
all three
nice,
bands
dude.
that were playing. They were amazing. And I actually got to meet the Wild Feathers. They came around and were talking with us. So it was interesting to hear about their story as well. And so I wanted to ask, how did the Allman Betts Band form?
The Allman Betts Band really just came about. I mean, Devin and I have known each other for so long, and Barry as well. And Devin and I were talking about doing something. He had approached me, and then with the passing of Greg, of Devin's father, he had put together a kind of like an all-star celebration for his dad at the Fillmore, and he invited me to be part of that. And so that was kind of the catalyst for us playing together, and it started out as me being the opening act for his band.
Oh wow!
In 2018, and then we jammed together a lot. In his set, I'd come back up. Me and Johnny Statula from the Allman Betts Band would come back up and play with him. And then we started talking that summer when we were touring. We started talking about, okay, well, let's put a band together and do it for real now. And so we put the band together and called up Barry and called up a few other people, and that was how it came about. But yeah, so we did those 2 records and toured around the world and did a lot of great stuff. And we're just kind of on hiatus right now. And
yeah, it happens, and it's just good to take breaks once in a while as well. And I'm excited to, when you guys get back on tour, we'll be back out to see you as well, my friends and I, because just enjoyed it so much. You were also in the band Jamtown, correct, for an album?
I was, yeah. The band Jamtown with G Love and Donovan Frankenreiter and my friend Cisco Adler. That was kind of their thing, and I was part of that for 2017. I think was we did like a dozen shows that year. But yeah, that was a really fun time. We played Monterey, the 50th anniversary of Monterey, that was a highlight. That was really cool. And then we opened up some shows for Jack Johnson.
Ooh.
So yeah, that was a really cool time. That was a really cool thing.
How was the recording process for Down to the River?
I think we did that record in like a week.
Oh wow!
I mean, we pretty much tracked it all live and down in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. Kind of wrote the songs and went in there, and some of them we played and some of them we hadn't played. I think that was actually the first time that all of those musicians played together at one time, was in because it was Peter Levin on keyboards, and we brought Barry in, so that was kind of the formation of the band. And then of course Peter didn't stay in the band. He we brought in John Ginty on keyboards, but yeah, I mean it came together pretty organically and quickly.
Perfect. And I have a friend who's in Tennessee, and she wanted me to mention this as well. Again, I run a record label, so I have friends all over the place, all over the states and the world, all music lovers and stuff. So I mentioned that I was interviewing you, and she was like, "One question," and I was like, "Sure." And so she saw you at the Cumberland Caverns in Tennessee, and she said it was like an underground show.
Place. Yeah.
How was that? Was that an interesting venue, or how did that seems like a really fun place to play? So how'd you enjoy that?
Yeah, we've been there. I've been there a couple times now. It's a really cool place. I mean, it's kind of it's cold down there. It's really cold. But it's a cool place to play. I really enjoyed playing there. I look forward to playing there again.
Yeah. That's awesome, because I've always, I was a musician myself and a record label owner and doing all this stuff. I see all these bands do all this stuff. I really want to tour, but I'm like, I don't think I have the drive. I mean, there's a lot of drive behind the tour. How did that affect you, the touring life? Did you get used to it easily, or was it kind of had to adjust to it? And I mean, everything's different every time.
I mean, I grew up touring. I mean, there's different levels of touring. I mean, there's everything from being in a van, jammed in a van, to private jets. So, I kind of love traveling, and I love playing music, and so I feel like I was kind of born to travel and play music. I like it. I mean, it's definitely, it can be a little rough at times, when you want to shower and you don't have the luxuries of having everything right at your fingertips that you do when you're at home. But it's worth it.
Yeah, I'm sure it outweighs when you get on that stage and the lights turn up for the night after the crew set up the stage for you and have it all set ready to go, and you get out there on stage, look at the audience, you're like, you know what, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's really about making people feel good, and you get to go and play music, and then they have acknowledgement for songs you've written or the way you play, and have people tell you that, oh man, and then to be able to make a living at it potentially is really an amazing.
It's got to be a special feeling that you don't have to be a 9 to 5 in a building, and you're like, I can actually be out in the world, seeing the world, playing my guitar, and singing the songs I wrote. And I think that's such an amazing feeling, and definitely an inspiration to me. So I thank you there as well. It's been very exciting. And it's just, I'm a big fan of your father as well, but I loved that you created your own thing as well. And I was like, I gotta ask Duane more questions about himself, because I feel like that's what it's about. And
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Let's talk about your song Downtown Runaround. Tell me about that one.
Yeah, I mean, Downtown Runaround was kind of a funny tongue-in-cheek story I was telling, and I had that title in a notebook, and I wrote that with Stahl Vaughn, and It was actually the end of this. We were about ready to go and finish up the sessions for Sketches of American Music, my debut EP, and I wanted to have one more song that kind of had more of a driving rock and roll feel that was kind of fun. And I came up with the riff for it. And then I had a notebook, and we went through the notebook, and he saw that title, Downtown Runner. I was like, Stahl was like, let's use that. Let's write a song around that. So it's kind of just a fun tongue-in-cheek look at, kind of getting stuck in the same patterns.
Yeah, I got you. And I really enjoyed that one, and I enjoyed just hearing that, and I really enjoyed California Blues. The solos on that are insane. So let's go into that one.
Yeah, California Blues is actually a cover of one of my dad's.
Oh, okay.
That's actually a cover of one of my dad's tunes, but it's a rare tune. Not a lot of people know it. It wasn't it's not an Allman Brothers Band tune. So that was a tune off of one of his solo records in the 70s. And I kind of grew up in between, Florida and Southern California, and I was in California at the time, so we just thought it was appropriate to, incorporate it into that record.
Yeah. Oh, it's perfect. And then I'm going to go into 2 Allman Betts Band songs, and we'll hopefully be meeting you in person, if allowed, at the Ridgefield Playhouse. It'd be great. I'll shake your hand and say thank you.
Yeah.
But it'd be great.
I mean, I've played there so many times with my dad, and I really kind of wanted to make a point of saying how much I'm looking forward to coming back there, and how they always have treated us so kindly over the years, and it means a lot to me to come back there doing my own thing, and to have the support of everybody, and we're really looking forward to seeing everyone, and look forward to having a great night of music. So
and we're just as excited, and it's cool.
Say that to everyone.
2 Allman Betts Band songs here. We'll do. You mentioned Down to the River as a co-writer, so that one was what was it like processing writing a song together there?
Well, Down to the River is more or less Devin's song.
Okay.
And I thought it was a really cool tune, but when I heard it in the studio, when we started throwing the approach of it that we put on it with the kind of Memphis soul thing with Matt Ross Spang producing, he's from Memphis, that really put it over the top, and I was like, oh, I see now. Yeah, this is really cool. And then it needed a little bridge. I kind of threw an idea at Devin for the bridge, and that became, me and him kind of worked on the bridge together a little bit. But yeah, that's one of my favorite songs on the record, definitely.
Tell you now, you've been feeling down. Just go down to the
Pale Horse Rider. So tell me about that one.
Pale Horse Rider was kind of written backstage in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. If I'm not mistaken, I think we were backstage, had a show in Baton Rouge that night, and it was Stahl Vaughn was with us, but it was more or less Devin took an idea that I had. I had the main riff, the intertwining guitar riff that you hear. It's like kind of a lead thing. I had that, and then Devin kind of wrote the verses, and then the arrangement kind of took off from there, and it was really fun to work on with him.
There's 1,000 maps that just don't lead you anywhere anymore. There's 100 signs placed there to confuse you. And I've been lost for way too long. Baby, I need you. I just need you. Mess with the wrong man for the last time, and I ain't giving them the best of me anymore. I handed over my last nickel and dimes, all in trade for their
Perfect. And you guys are on a hiatus. There we go. Can't wait till you guys come back. And I'm really excited to see you, as I said before. And thank you so much for spending some time today to come on the show. And thank you again, Duane. I really appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate you having me, and have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
You're tuned into Mad Wasp Radio, so don't forget where you are. Don't change that dial, you don't